Hey guys, Ryan here at ZZP. We got something to talk about here. Timing on 1.4. Not that difficult. We've had customers calling in, trying to tune their cars. They're having cam problems after they install their cam. They're having timing problems and timing issues, and it's throwing timing codes. We're gonna go through some stock cam timing as well as our ZZP Stage 1 cam timing. It's very simple to do if you do it right. Let's get started. So first things first here, if you don't have these timing tools, don't do your timing or get one. Get a set, they're not that expensive, you can find them online. We've got a crank sprocket or a crank holding tool, cam holding tool for your cams. This is a stock cam holding tool. This is our ZZP cam holding tool. This is for your actuators. This is your actuator holding tool. Your actuators need to be set right. Your crank needs to be set right. Your cams need to be set right. If you don't have these three tools or these three tools, please, please, please find somebody that does or buy the kit online. It's not that expensive and it will make your life a lot easier and you will not have problems. First things first here. Number one important thing, you gotta get the crank in the right spot. 100%. If you don't get it in the right spot, it is not gonna be timed correctly. There's two different spots that this crank can be put in and this pin will go into. One of them, if you try to tighten down these two front actuator bolts, this tool will pop out. The other one is the correct spot and it will hold like it's meant to. There is this plug right here. Now, there's usually an AC compressor right here. You can get to that bolt super easy from underneath the car. There's nothing in the way. We're gonna take this loose. That's gonna be a T55 Torx. Take that bolt out. Next thing you're gonna do, turn over the engine. First things first, grab yourself E18 Torx socket. Piston number one has to be at the very, very, very top, as high as it'll go. Make sure that piston is all the way up. See how that keeps going up? It's all the way up. If I go a little bit more, it's coming down. Go right in the middle. It's all the way up. Next, take your locking tool. Put it in where you took that T55 out. Now you're gonna have to wiggle the crank just a little bit, one way or the other. But it should slide right in. Just like that. Make sure this tool is bottomed out. I like to just take something, give her a couple taps. Make sure this tool is bottomed out right on that engine block. Your crank is now locked. The piston is at the very top. You know your crank is in the right spot. Next thing we're gonna do, make sure your cams are in the right spot. Take a 22mm wrench. Cams. You got your locking tool. This locking tool is going to sit flush on the top of the head. It's going to go into the cam grooves just like that and like that. Tool flush into the cam grooves. Yep. Grab your wrench, put it right here. It's got two spots on either cams. This tool sits flush against the head. Make sure that it's in the grooves. If this tool does not sit flush or it is not in both of these grooves at the same time, it's not timed properly. Next thing we're gonna do, take your actuator locking tool, This sets just like the old school timing chain where you have your dots. This is gonna do that for you. Your cam's locked, your crank's locked. Now we're gonna set the actuators and where they're supposed to be locked at. We're gonna put the 2 bolts in here, 2 actuator bolts, leave them a little bit loose so you can spin these. This is your basic timing marks here, basically. This mark is up. Make sure there's a long flat side here, long flat side here. Make sure there's a long flat side here. And this one's just gonna be one little stubby one. Timing tool. Make sure it fits good in there. You got 3 bolts here on your timing tool. Make sure you tighten these down. Actuators locked, cams locked, cranks locked in the right position. Next thing we can do, you need a torque wrench. You need one. 71 inch-pounds when you put the cams on, 37 foot-pounds, 60 degrees. You need to set that correctly. If you don't, these actuators will spin. They don't lock onto the actual cams themselves. It's a press fit. These bolts are as well torque to yield. We recommend 100% replace those bolts if you do cams. We have seen these actuators actually spin on the cam itself. Like I said, it's a press fit. These 2 bolts right here are torque to yield. And they do stretch because it is a press fit onto this cam. We're not gonna rely on this tool. You will bend that tool, especially if you have ours. You will bend this tool. You need a 22 mil. Put it onto the cam when you're tightening down this bolt. Don't rely on that tool to hold the cams. That's where a lot of people go wrong, especially with our tool, being that it's a little bit smaller and thinner. You don't want to rely on that tool to tighten down your actuator bolts. That will bend and your cam timing will be off. Apply pressure on here, the same amount of pressure, I repeat, the same amount of pressure that you pull on your torque wrench with. 37 foot-pounds. We don't want to put any pressure on this tool. That's where a lot of people go wrong. "60 degrees. We're gonna do the same exact thing. Except now it's gonna get a little bit harder. Again, apply the same amount of pressure. Do not put any pressure or tension on this. Do not rely on it. It will bend. And you're gonna see why, because there is a lot of tension that goes into that. Take your tools out. This should slide right out, just like that. There should be no pressure on it. If there's pressure on this and you're having a hard time getting this out of the cam, you probably didn't hold the cams correctly, and it's probably forcing those cams to be the wrong direction. And just like we did before, now you're just removing everything. Take all your tools out. Your crank sprocket locking tool. Make sure you take that out, or when you go to start the engine, it's gonna make a funny noise and you're gonna hurt something. Make sure you put your plug back in. Tighten the rest of everything down. You're good, you're set. That's how you do timing on stock cams. Timing tool for our stage 1 cams. First thing you're gonna do, swap the intake cam over to the exhaust side. Flip it upside down. Make sure this mark down here, this groove, is the opposite of it was before. Make sure it's on the bottom and not facing the top like our cam is. Next thing you're gonna do, these are labeled. Intake, exhaust. Obviously, intake goes over here on the intake side, exhaust goes on the exhaust side. As long as you got everything else the same way we did the stock cams, same exact way, your timing's all the same, everything's the same. It's just this tool that changes. Put our tool in the intake side groove. You're gonna wanna grab your 22 and actually turn this cam a little bit. It's gonna have some tension. Should slide right in, just like that. Should be loose. Should fit in there perfectly. The next thing we're gonna do, we like to actually preload the exhaust side. We're gonna actually put a tiny bit of tension that way, to the left. So a little bit clocked this way. Again, 37 foot-pounds, 60 degrees on that bolt. We're not gonna pull on this. We're just gonna hold it right where it's at. We got a little bit of tension. We got a little bit of tension on this. Can actually back it off just a hair. We got a little bit of tension on that tool, and you're gonna hold it right where it's at. We're gonna do 37 foot-pounds, just like that. We're actually gonna go right to 60 degrees. We're gonna do this cam first. Again, hold it right in its spot. Again, do not rely on this tool. Do not put any pressure. See how easy that moves now? See how easy that fits in? Your chain is gonna have a little bit of slack, so even though you tensioned that cam just a hair, it's gonna pop back just because this chain has just the smallest amount of slack. But it's as easy as that. Don't put any tension, don't rely on this tool to hold this cam when you tighten it down. So we're gonna go to the other side. 37 foot-pounds, 60 degrees. This one we're gonna do the opposite. We're actually gonna pull it towards us and put a little bit of tension on that tool, just like that. See how that tool is standing straight up? It's got a little bit of tension. We're gonna hold the cam. Hold the cam with your wrench. Do not put any tension on this when you're cranking that down. Make sure you hold the cam. And so you got it in the position you want it. 37 foot-pounds. 60 degrees. Now that tool is gonna have just a little bit more tension on it, but look at how easy that is. Fits in there. Now take all your timing tools out, and that's how you time it. That's how you time our stage 1 cams on a Sonic or a Cruze. Stage 1 cams on a Sonic or a Cruze, not as difficult as it looks. Just be smart, be diligent about it, take your time. It's not that bad. But again, that's the #1 problem we have. One, customer's not locking that crank in the right spot. And the second problem we have is either these actuators being in the wrong spot, and you can see right where we have these actuators at. Like I said, long It's got a long side, and then there should be one mark right here. Long side, and then there should be like a little stub on this side. Make sure those are in the correct spots. And again, make sure that this tool, you're not putting any pressure on it. You're gonna notice if you do put pressure on this tool, these will actually bend and you'll see this little mark move down a little bit. You'll see a little etching in the side of this. And it's gonna actually bend the tool. You did it wrong at that point and you might have cam codes. Just be smart about it, follow our instructions, and if we have another customer that writes in saying they have cam timing issues after this video, I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be very sad. Thank you guys, have a good day. I'm glad you guys, I hope you guys liked the video, and we're gonna have another video coming up soon, probably about our Z04 turbo install, and I hope you guys can go check that out. It'll be a good video. Thanks guys, have a good day.